Well, we got the man himself here, Mike Kelly. Mike, one of the biggest comments we've seen all day about this is another piece of the old Outer Banks is gone. How do you feel about that?
I agree, but pieces of most communities end up going through growth periods, and in the periods where this time is better. I think the facility that we have here was a good facility. Especially had done real well since the early 90s, when mid-90s, probably about mid-90s, when weddings started to predominate a lot of things occurring a lot on the Outer Banks. We did an awful lot of weddings. And those things, they get you think about them, you do it, but there's also the thing that you constantly need to improve the facility for service, improve it for appearance, and improve it. And it takes a lot of time. And then in the seasonal, something we don't think about as much, but in the seasonal surrounding, you put a whole lot of effort in, and you've narrowed it down from 12 months possibility to probably about a 7 to 8 month possibility. I mean, there are no weddings in very few in December, none hardly in January, February, or early March or something, and then all of a sudden, you go back and you do it. So there's a lot of money put in, a lot of effort, and a lot of employees, and the relationship with the employees. And I got a couple of pictures that were mailed to me in the last 2 weeks. People that work there and everything, and lined up, and a couple of different stages. When we first opened up, we opened up here in 1988, and we ran through to about 2021, and then we sold it. But it's just a question of how you feel in the timing. And I was in my early 70s, so it's getting to be that you had to sell. If you wanted to sell it, you needed to do it. And I will tell you, when we sold it shortly thereafter, the real estate market out here just exploded. And the whole thing was a whole lot more selling and transferring of businesses, especially in my industry, in the hospitality industry, and restaurants. There were a lot of restaurants that changed hands in a lot quicker amount of time than we had ever thought it would occur. And you can sit back and say, well, I wish I had, but you can't live like that. Right. If you live trying to say, I wish I had done this in the past, I wish I had done that, when you make a decision and effort to do something, you have to, I analyze it in my mind, I write it down so that I can remind myself, and I've been overall very pleased with things that I've been able to do over the years, and don't feel sorry for myself or anything, and I do miss the clients, the customers, and the relationship with the staff.
I had one cool memory and one not so cool memory about this spot here. I mean, on the Soundside, how many times you went through what you had to go through whenever the wind blew?
Oh God, we had a real bad storm in the early March of the 1990 or 91, I think.
Yeah.
1991. Yep. We had water. We've had water all the way to the bypass probably 15 times in the course of the 30-some years we had it. But but we had the one we had in that March storm. It put probably 20. You don't think about it, but with the reeds and everything around here, there were about 20 truckloads of reeds that got hauled off of this property, that restaurant facility, and we had a couple of duck blinds. And when the duck blinds washed up, it was interesting because they had snakes in them.
Yeah, that's right.
And so all of a sudden it just came out, and then about another couple of years later, we had another storm.
All right, come on through here. We'll get these folks in.
No problem.
That's the beauty of live. That's the cool thing about going live.
Yep, but we didn't have, all of a sudden, all the stuff that had been here from the one in 1991 was a tremendous amount of debris and work and everything like that. And you'd have a whole bunch of trees. Somebody said, why don't you cut down the dead trees? I said, we don't know they're dead yet.
Right.
We got another year or two of them that just they appear to be dead.
Right.
But they've had a lot of salt water on them. They've done everything like this. But we'll end up seeing. The other thing is that 2 or 3 years later, when we had a follow-up storm, we didn't have where we had 20 pickup truckloads, double axle dump trucks of reeds getting rid of trash and everything. That was one thing. 2 years later, we had 2 pickup truckloads because the place, we don't think about, but the marsh had been
Cleaned out. Yeah.
And all the stuff was floated, and we had already picked it up. And actually, it was more convenient to us when it came up. You could drive up in the pickup on the pavement to get the stuff, and it was a cleaner clean.
Right.
So those are the kind of things that a lot of times I tend to forget.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You say, oh yeah, well we did like that and so like that, but it's
Right.
it's growth. I'm old enough that I don't need to be out there on the one pointing out. I'll miss it a lot and all that, but you know, that's what growth is.
Well, it's the Outer Banks, and this sandbar evolves over time and has of time again evolved, and we're in that next stage of evolution.
I agree 1,000%. That was it. And you take your time, you pick it, you do what you want to do, you make it, and try to make it a good, totally consummate, 360-degree, good decisions and everything. It's something.
Yeah.
You can get in the hospitality business.
I guess I kind of sort of am the entertainment business at some points and the information business. So, but Mike, thank you for taking the time to talk with us. I appreciate it.
Okay.
All right.
Nice
Good to see you, man.
Pleasure. Oh, it's pretty fun.
Well, that was a cool coincidence.